You have clicked on last two centers, and we are going to continue off from the last lesson where we placed the first four centers in, and now the last two centers need to be in. So we're going to take the same approach for this by building 2x1 blocks. So here we've already got one built, and we need to build another one and put it here, and another one and put it here, and then finally our 3x1 block and put it there. So you can start with either side. I'm going to use orange. So the side that you're going to build on is going to be in front of you, not on top. So I'm going to build on the orange side. Now the top layer is where we actually do the construction of the pieces. This layer is where they go, and we're going to construct them in this layer using empty slots, and I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing we're going to want to do, of course, is get a 1x2 block. Now most of the time you're going to have one. So in this case we do have one. So we want it to be up and down like this in the bottom. Now we need to put another 2x1 block in here. So we look in the top layer, and here's a 2x1 block. And this can go down to match up, just like that. Now we need to be able to put this back because we just destroyed our reds. So we need to get that 2x1 block and all of our work that we just did out of the way, bring in an empty slot and put that back. As you can see, that brought the red back. So now we need to put one more in here. So here we have a 3x1, but we can just pretend that this piece here doesn't exist and that it's just these two. So we can turn it into this slot so it's lined up, and now we can move it. But of course we just destroyed our reds again. So we have to turn this to the side using a slot that's not being used and put our red back. Now we're left with these pieces. So as you can see, we need to always match up to a centerpiece. So these have to come here. But how can we do that like this? Well, an easy way to do it is to move this to the side. As you can see, we've brought one in here. Now we can move it out of the way by bringing up that empty slot, turning this back and bringing it back. So now you can see that it has made a 2x1 block. Now we need to match up this piece with this piece. And you never want to move this layer or this layer. These are finished layers, so we never move finished layers. The only way that we can match up this piece with that piece is by using this layer here to maneuver pieces around, and the top layer, of course. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bring this over here, and we're going to want to move it out of the way, and then move this, and then bring it back. And all we did was move it from here to here. Now you can see that we want this to be right here. So let's put it there. Now let's get it out of the way by bringing it up the empty side here, and now putting this here and attaching that piece. So as you can see, we didn't destroy any of our work, and we moved a piece from here to there by using this layer and the top. Now you want to insert it into here. Now as you can see from the first four centers, the way we did it is we moved this down over a slot that's already existing, did a 180 and moved it back. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to show you another way to do it actually. So say this is how it is in the end. Instead of moving this down and kicking out that piece, one thing you can do is this is the area where it needs to go. So you can actually bring this up to the top layer, replace it with that, and then bring it back. And that will finish our last two centers. I'm going to go ahead and give these two centers a scramble, and we'll go through it one more time so you can have a better idea. Okay, so now we have another scramble. And so I'm going to go through this again so you have a better idea of how this is going to work. So as you can see, we already have one 2x1 block here. And if you were using the green side, you would always also have one 2x1 block. The only way that you can't have one 2x1 block is when it is sort of in a checker pattern. So if this piece here was there, that means all of these orange corners would be on this side too. And it is just so rare that that happens. You will always find that you do have one 2x1 block to start with. So I'm going to do the orange side again. So again, the green side is my working layer, and my orange side in front of me is my placing layer. So I want that 2x1 block to be up and down. Now what I would like is to put another 2x1 block in either this slot or this slot. Well, let's take a look. We do have a 2x1 block here, but I've already shown you that. I'm going to show you a little bit of a faster and more efficient way to put in a block. As we can see, we have a piece here that we can attach either a piece here or there. and we have this piece. So this piece can come up here, just like this. And of course, we brought our blue up and temporarily took away the blue from the blue side. So we have to bring this back. So what we do is we bring this up, we attach it, and instead of moving it out of the way to bring this back, we put it in the layer. Now when we bring it back, you can see that it did attach that piece. And we're going to do this once again. Of course, we could just move this down, but I'm going to show you a different way where we do have one piece at the top here and then one piece here. So we're going to match them up, bring them into that layer and bring it down. Now we're left with these pieces. So we can't use any of these slots right now, as you can see, because none of them are empty. So you have to move one to the side to make an empty slot. So now our workspace is the top layer here and only this slot here. So you need this piece to be here. And of course we can't go like this and line it up or anything like that. So what we need to do is keep that piece there. We need to hide it using our empty slot. Move this piece over and bring it back. Now as you can see, we can align and we can put it in either this way or we can bring this up, put it in there and bring it back down. Sometimes you'll run across a case like this where you've got one piece that needs to be switched with one piece here and you're not sure how to do that. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to put them next to each other. And by that I mean in the upper right corner on the face and the bottom right corner on the top. So they're very close to each other. Now we're going to do a little tiny algorithm and we're going to use this as our R move. So I want you to do this algorithm. R, U, R prime. And as you can see, it matches that up. Now you're free to put this in the slot any way that you want to. This is another case you can run into where you only have one piece left, but instead of it being a corner piece, it's an edge piece. Now there are two ways to do this, and I'm going to teach you both ways, and you can choose which one suits you better. So what I want you to do is say they're like this. Say this is how it is. I want you to put them both on the same side. So it's like this. So it's in the left side and the left side, or you can put it on the right side and the right side. For this demonstration, I'm going to choose the right side. So one thing you can do is bring up those two pieces. You can get it out of the way and bring it back. Now this piece is across from this piece. I want you to align them like this so they're up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide this one piece by bringing up the orange. Now we're going to turn this around. Now we're going to put the orange back. And all you did was hit a piece, turn these around and brought that piece back. And now you can insert it however you want. Alternatively, there is this way to do it as well, and this is called a commutator, and you might want to learn this one anyways, just because it is very useful if you're stuck. So what you want to do is if you have one piece here and one piece here, I want you to pay attention to this position, not the green piece, but the position of that piece. You can see which layer it's in. I want you to bring that down, and I want you to move it over. So we're still paying attention to this spot. I want you to bring that spot down, and now I want you to move it back. Now this spot goes up, and now you move it over, and then you go up again. So I know that was a little bit confusing. I'm going to go over it again. And an easy way to remember it is down, over, up, over. And every time that you go over, you switch alternately between left and right. So it's down, over, up, over, up, over. We're going to go through it one more time using a corner piece this time. So as you can see, we have a corner piece now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay attention to this spot, not the color, but just this spot right here. And we're going to move it down, and we're going to move it over. Then we're going to move it down, and we're going to move it over. Then we're going to move it up, and then we're going to move it over. And then we're going to move it up and over. You don't have to do that last over, but we do it anyways. I'll demonstrate it on the left side now. So now we have a piece that's on the top left. You can choose it to do it on the left and learn it this way too, or you can just move both of the pieces and do it on the right like we just demonstrated. So the way we do it on the left is we pay attention to this piece, not the color, but just the position of this green piece, and we move it down, and we move it over, and then we move it down, and we move it over, and then up, over, and back up again. So now you've learned all the different cases for the last two centers. So I encourage you to go ahead and learn how to do your last two centers, and then you can click anywhere on the screen after this and be brought back to the home page and start learning edge pairing.